Engaged lessons for the 21st century.
Common Core, first grade. Numbers and operations in base 10. Use place value understanding and properties of operations to add and subtract. This is an engaged video created by Willoughby Eastlake Schools. If you are presently using a smartboard, please remember to save the video first, then open it up with Smart Video Player. If you would please have a student come up to the smartboard for the very first problem. Thank you. Before we go to the first problem, let's look at this example of 10 more or 10 less of a two-digit number. You'll notice that we have the numbers 11, 21, 31, 41, 51. Let's stop there. What number is changing? It's the first number because it's going to go up by 10. Here's a 1. We add 10. Here's a 2. We add 10. Here's a 3. We add 10, here is a 4. We add 10, and now we have 51. If we add 10 to 51, we are going to have 61, 71, 81, and 91. What number does not change? The second number remains the same. So if we add 10, the first number goes up by 10. Now, let's see we're at number 31, and we want to go 10 less. We now go this direction. So from 31, it goes to 21. If we have 10 less than 21, it would be 11. If we're looking at 51 and we want to go 10 less, the next number would be 41. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's look at the concept of 34. If we have a 34 and we want to go 10 more, what number would appear here? If you said 44, you are correct because the first digit changed from a 3 to a 4. If we want to go 10 less, what number would appear here? If you said 24, outstanding. Remarkable. You understand how this works then. 10 more goes to the right, we increase. 10 less goes to the left, and we decrease. If you would please have a student, or you already have a student, up at the smartboard for the very first problem. Thank you. Problem 1. We should have a student up at the smartboard. Find 10 more or 10 less of the two-digit number. Two parts for problem 1. Let me read the first one to you. There are 32 runners in a city park. There are 10 less walkers than runners. How many walkers are in the city park? Write that number here. Are you going to add or subtract? Part 2. Write the number that is 10 less than 51. Are you going to add or subtract? Look at the word less. If you would please, pick up a pen to solve these two problems. Okay, if there's 32 runners and there's 10 less walkers, that means we're going to subtract, and 32 minus 10 is 22. And over here, if the number is 51 and there is 10 less, we should have 41. If your answers match ours, that is outstanding. If you would please, erase the smartboard, and while you're doing that, have another student come up to the board for the very next problem. Thank you. Problem 2. Don't forget, we're working on 10 more or 10 less of the two-digit number. Let's look at the first part. Write the number that is 10 more and 10 less than the number presented. Here's 71. Right over here, that is 10 less, and write the number that is 10 more. Over here for part 2, write the missing number in the box. Here we have 82, 72. What number is missing? Write that number here. If you would please pick up a pen to solve this problem. Okay, let's look at the first one. Here we have 71. Now, 10 less than 71 would be 61. And 10 more than 71 would be 81. Do you see a pattern? Here's a 6, 7, and an 8. Let's look over here. Write the missing number. Here is an 8 for 82. Here's a 7 for 72. What goes here? If you said a 6 for 62, outstanding, fantastic. If you would, have another student come up to the smartboard while you erase these answers. Thank you. Problem 3. Find 10 more or 10 less of the 2-digit number again. Okay, here's the problem. Here's the first one. Write the number that is 10 less. Just like the previous one, here's a 4 for 47. Write the correct answer here. Over here it says, explain how you find the missing numbers. What are the missing numbers? Here's a 56. What is 10 less? And what is 10 more? If you would, please pick up a pen to solve these two problems. Okay, let's look at this one. Here's 47. Now 10 less, here's a 4, so the next number, if it's less, must be a 3. 37. Let's look at this problem. Here is 56. If this is a 5 for 56, what must this number be? 46. 4, 5. Okay, tricky. If this is a 56 and this is a 5, what is 10 greater? If you said 66, that is astonishing. If you would please, have another student come up to the smartboard while you erase your answers here, here, and here. Thank you. Okay, here we are at the last problem. Problem 4. Again, we're looking for 10 more or 10 less. In the first part, it says here a wildlife preserve has 42 zebra living on the grounds. There are 10 more antelope than zebra. How many antelope are living on the wildlife preserve? You'll write that answer here. Let's look at the second part. Write the number that is 10 more than 46 and write that number here. If you would please, pick up a pen to solve these two problems. Okay, let's look at the first one. Here's 42 and there are 10 more. So your answer should have been 52. The next number would be a 5, so 52. Write the number that is 10 more. Here's 46, so your answer should have been 56. So, if this is a 4, and you want to go 10 more, the next number is a 5, and it'll be 56. Let's look down here. You'll notice that we have a pattern. 16, 26, 36, 46, 56, 66, 76, and 86. What number is changing? Here's a 1. We add 10 to it. Here's a 2. We add 10 to it. Here's a 3. We add 10 to it. Here's a 4. And we add 10 to it. Here's a 5. Add 10 to it. Here's a 6. Add 10 to it. Here's a 7. Add 10 to it. And here is an 8. So, if we're looking at number 36 and we want to add 10, the next number would be 46. If we're looking at 36 and we want 10 less, that number then would be 26. Okay, if your answers match ours, that is astonishing. If you would please erase your answers on the smartboard, and we want to thank you for working with us today on the Common Core.